Today's video is something a little bit different. I'm going to be doing a book review, and the book I'm going to be reviewing is The Successful Software Manager by Herman Fung. You may or may not know, but I worked in IT for 15 years before I started doing business development and coaching. And throughout that experience, I really found out how important the human side of IT was. So often things that appeared to be a technical problem were actually a problem with people, or a problem with management, or a problem with the organization itself. And this book is a really good attempt to start dealing with some of those problems. I first met Herman when I was giving a talk to the BCS, to the Chartered Institute for IT in Birmingham last year. And I was really struck by his energy and his enthusiasm for the topic, and how we shared that opinion about how important it was to really understand the human side of technology as well. And I really wanted to contribute and help out as much as possible. And I've actually written a chapter in this book, but I'd like to really explain the whole value of the book to you. And so you can decide if it's the right thing for you. This is primarily going to be an IT person thing. So if you're not a techie, this is probably not the video for you. Check out the other ones instead. But if you are a techie, particularly if you're a developer and you're thinking about management, or you're a new manager and you're starting to wonder about what it all involves, whether you're doing it right, how it's all going, then this is certainly a book that you should check out. Overall, the book helps you understand if management is the right fit for you at this stage in your career, and if it's a good option or not, and it's something you want to explore. It helps you understand a range of different methodologies that you may work in, from very formal ones to modern agile ones, and also to understand that the role of manager in a lot of agile methodologies is changing quite significantly. So you might not actually be called a manager at all, though you'll have some form of leadership and coordination role. The book also includes some really helpful practical guides and rituals and things that you can adopt so that you can understand exactly how to run a team. It gives you a foundation to start with so that you can then build the team as is needed. And the book also features some chunks of psychology, and it's really good to see that in a management book, that not every management approach is evidence-based, but this one really is. And Herman's really good at including examples of where there's good evidence base for the recommendations and the approaches that he's taking. I think it's really helpful, and particularly as an IT person, the idea of using evidence and making sure that things are really connected with what's really happening matter a lot. Along with all of this, the book's really quite accessible and easy to read. It's written in quite a light style. It's not just a huge wall of text. There's loads of diagrams, there's loads of exercises, there's loads of pictures to help you actually interact with and understand the content. And I think this is a really important point, that management is a practical thing. You're going to be practicing it. So the way that this book is structured will help you do that. And going on to the structure of the book, the first few chapters really cover the how, what and why of management, why you might want to do it, what its role is in the organization, and the basics of why you want to do it. It's a good way to explore whether management is the right thing for you, and it also gives you a way to bootstrap your own management practice. It will give you some things to get started with and to get going in leading a team. The next few chapters cover more details of managing a team and the day-to-day experience of what it means to have people reporting to you and to be leading people. It gives you a whole load of practices, a whole load of rituals, and a whole load of techniques that you can use to lead your team really effectively. Then it moves on to working with other people in the organization and what it means to lead a team in the context of a whole company or a whole organization. And that can mean working with customers, that can mean working with project managers, that can mean working with other people in the business, and it can also mean that whole range of stakeholders that you might find yourself working with. And remembering that you're going to be representing your team and the people in your team to all of those stakeholders. The final main stages of the book cover the delivery of the actual product that your team has created. So it covers testing, it covers handover, and it covers training. So you can be sure that the work that you and your team have done is effectively handed over so that people can benefit. The last 2 chapters in the book are guest chapters, and they give a bit of a different take on the whole approach and help give you some more context. The first one of those is by organizational expert Daniel Ospina, and he talks about the future of work and how organizations can be designed to be more effective, taking advantage of what we know now about how people work together effectively. He gives you some ideas to think about different ways of running the organization and different ways of running your team that might not be entirely conventional, but will be really, really powerful. The last of the guest chapters is by me, and it covers the inner journey to management and how managing yourself and developing your own skills internally can help you lead and support other people. The book ends with a comprehensive summary of what it is, what all the topics it covers, so that you can start and get going effectively and check what you've learned. And this book is an excellent place to start if you're in your first year or 2 of management, or that you're anticipating the transition to managing. It's also really interesting if perhaps you're a developer and you don't have any strong ambition to management, but you want to understand the wider context of what it is to run a team, how teams work, and how organizations and the IT function interacts with everything else. Because it's so comprehensive, it covers quite a wide range of topics in not the deepest way. So if you're well into your management career, you might not find quite the detail that you want to really dig into some of that topics, but it does give you a good overview, it gives you a good sanity check, and it would also give you some gives you some good materials to follow up on if you want to go into more detail. So if you're about to be a manager, this book is absolutely invaluable. I'd really, really recommend getting hold of it. And if you're in your first couple of years and you're wondering, you're struggling at all, or you want to just check that you're doing it right, then definitely check this book out. It's available on Amazon and it's available direct from the publisher's website. So just as a quick reminder, that book is The Successful Software Manager by Herman Fung. I hope it's helpful for you.